Next presentation, I'm going to invite Scott Gillespie, tClara, up here to the stage. Again, to give you a little bit of background, a few months ago, BTN gave industry suppliers and consultants an opportunity to submit a topic to be presented at today's event. And so I took all of those submissions and through a blind review process, a group of 5 buyers, some of who are here today, Kathy and Trish, along with Cindy Hessen from Anthem, Suzanne Boyan from ZS Associates, and Sean Curley from Accenture. They went through the presentations. All they had were the titles and descriptions. They didn't know who had made the submission. And they basically, ranked those submissions, and Scott was the winner, so to speak. So with that said, I'm going to hand you the clicker, and your 9 minutes. Oh, no, first you have to answer a question.
Oh, right.
Like everyone else.
Yes.
So pick a card, any card.
All right. What's the best way to pass the time at the airport? Not an exciting answer, but I love to go to the club and just get some work done and refresh, a little healthy meal, and wait for the next leg of the journey.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, over to you.
Right. Grilly, you asked a great question. Why are we stuck in the status quo? I'd offer us a very different answer. I don't think we need to follow the money. I don't think we should be following the money. I think we need to follow the value. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about. I've got three technologies that are going to enable much more strategic value, and then 2 technologies that come back into the safe, tactical world that we all know so well. So here you go. Take it for what it's worth. We'll see if these resonate with you. And we'll do a little blue sky thinking here. Right, so first one is pre-trip ratings. This is not pre-trip approval. What this is an assessment of how justifiable somebody's trip is. Should it be approved? That's an ingredient. So what happens is Morgan has a trip that she wants to go on, and she's thinking, yeah, I'd like to go on this trip. It could be a sales call. It could be an account visit. It could be a training call. It doesn't matter. She needs to get this assessed, rated for its justifiability. And so what happens is she'll get one of those ratings, justified, sure, probably justified, whatever it is, doesn't matter, she gets a rating. And then you can have a more informed discussion about what to do about whether or not that trip should be taken. So why do we need these things? Because we need to travel smarter. We need to travel smarter. So it's coming. Just count on this. What good will this do us? Well, I think it will do us these things. Imagine that the traveler simply says, I'm not sure if I should fly or Zoom this thing. If they know one way or the other, great, they'll know exactly which way to go. But if they're a little on the fence, or if they think their boss might be on the fence, they're going to want an assessment. All they do is answer a few standardized questions. That went pretty quick. Yeah. And they'll get this unbiased rating. Fine. That's the way it works. Takes a few seconds, a couple minutes, but they get the rating. What are we going to do with that rating, and why does this make it strategic? Because we can now insert that assessment, that pre-trip assessment of how justifiable that trip was, into these 3 databases, right? Becomes part of the pre-trip approval process, becomes part of the sales or CRM record, and it gets attached to the expense report. So great. What that does is it allows us to significantly better analyze the impact of travel. That's really important because now take that, set it aside for a moment, and now consider this next technology, this rich universal traveler profile. I heard one of the panelists describe it perhaps as a dynamic profile. Think of it as you wish, but it's going to look something like this. This we know this form. There's kind of the company-related data in our profile. There's our personal data, all well and good. But we're going to supplement this now with these pieces. First is this container of traveler and mobility-related data. So you can see the types of things that would go into that. That's going to be part of the picture. At the same time, on the corporate side, and this is already being done, corporations are already doing this, particularly if you're using Microsoft Office, they're developing a picture of your work-related network. They know who you email with, they know who you meet with, they know who you chat or Slack with, they know who you interact with. So they have a picture of your work-related network. Fascinating. Combine that with the traveler opting in to put in some of their attitudes about traveling, working from home, working from the office, their willingness to travel, and their trust scores. Again, new concept, but imagine rating how much you trust some of your colleagues. Put all that together into this profile, make it available, and combine that with the inevitable, and this is already happening, companies are already calculating each employee's retention value to the company, the price that they would be willing to pay to keep that person there. Put all this together, and now, between this and the pre-trip ratings, we can get to this third technology. And that's the idea of being able to forecast the need and the benefits of traveling. And I think it could look like this. The fundamental goal, the fundamental question is to answer this particular question. How should we be meeting with people? Should we be doing hybrid, or should we do it in person or completely virtual? Depends on the goal. You can imagine a company's list of goals, something like this. Your list may vary, but there are some dozen top goals that are really important to our companies. And what this system will do eventually is be able to assess and forecast the need for travel. And it's going to look like this. It's going to divide the need to meet in person between basically meeting virtually or hybrid or meeting in person. And so there's going to be an estimate, a forecast, an amount of time, and who should be involved in meeting in person. That's the blue bar there. The part of the travel component here is that travel enables some of that blue bar. And so we'll have that. We'll be able to forecast, assess the need for future travel based on the pre-trip ratings, our understanding of how much impact these types of trips create, and the traveler profile, understanding the benefits of getting the right people in the room for the right reasons. All will be optimized, truly optimized. None of this marketing bullshit that we hear today about TMCs optimizing your travel program. That doesn't happen. This will be optimized. Those are the three very strategically oriented technologies that we'll be able to envision in 10 years' time. I'm going to talk about two that will give you a sense of some tactical opportunities for you. First is this edit rights, and we're hearing about this on stage. Really simple. Here's the way it works. When we do this today, we allow travelers to book directly with the airline. Fine, no problem. You've got Direct Connect. You're going to get the corporate discount. You're going to get the data shipped off to your TMC. Great. Traxel, thank you for enabling that. That's a critical part of this. And then if the traveler needs some servicing post-ticketing, they have the option of what? Well, obviously, they can call the airline. Sure, that's fine. It's not going to cost them anything to get their servicing there. Or, with this new technology, they'll be able to go to their TMC and say, hey, I want you to handle this. I booked directly with the airline, but I want you to handle this, and yes, I will pay you a service fee. That's it. The TMC says, you bet, take your fee, and now I'm going to go into the airline's offer order system and either edit or cancel that ticket, whatever needs to be done, and move on to continue servicing that traveler on their trip. This is already happening. FareNexus is doing this for Air Canada. We saw Grilly, thank you for citing that in the headline. So it's being implemented. This is happening. I think it's just going to continue to grow in terms of popularity. Switching now to the last tactical opportunity here, we can do a better job of negotiating airline contracts. And basically, this is the old way of doing it. You've got airline discounts grouped by booking codes. Imagine a lot of you are familiar with this. What we expect is that you get discounts in proportion to the booking code. The booking codes are simply proxies. You think they're proxies for price. They're not. They're really proxies for profit margin. That's what they're proxies for. That's how you pay discounts, out of profit margin. So let's replace this with profit margins. We will have technology that will instantly estimate in a credible, fair way the profit margin on every ticket presented to your travelers at the point of sale. You will negotiate that curve, and then, because we know the profit margin on the ticket that's being considered, we'll know what discount to net that ticket out at. Now, that's pretty interesting because it gets rid of alphabet soup, makes a much more fair and rational way to negotiate airline deals. But again, back to the tactical world. How quickly can we expect any of this stuff? I think something like this. We'll see pre-trip ratings in prototype form. They're out today. I think these are going to be adopted pretty quickly. They're so practical, so useful, so valuable. I don't think, and they're easy to do. I think that'll happen quickly. The rich traveler profiles will probably take a little longer, maybe 5 years, because there's a lot of need for analyzing really interesting data in there. But the travel as a strategy, and this is the big payoff. This is the big payoff in terms of this future vision of these technologies. That's going to take a long time because we need so much time and effort to analyze the data. The other two are going to go pretty quickly, relatively speaking. For the profit margin-based discounting, we just need a big buyer and a big airline willing to work on this together, and that could happen pretty quickly. So with that, I think I finished exactly on time, and I thank you for your attention. All right?